Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Sims versus Smith Johnson.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Sims, you say your mother and your alleged father intentionally deceived you for 36 years by claiming that Mr. Johnson is your biological father. You are suing them for paternity fraud because you claim to have proof that you are not his daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, you say you have always believed Mr. Johnson is your daughter's father, and you intend to prove it today. Is that correct?
That's true.
Ms. Sims, so what do you mean they deceived you?
Well, for my whole life, I've always thought that Henry, my dad, is my dad. And I just have a multitude of things that have come up that show me that he potentially could not be, including my health and my daughter's health, where we don't have any family history that is consistent throughout the family of my dad's family.
And so what does that feel like to be lied to feel like you've been deceived your whole life?
I mean, it's distressing. I mean, because it doesn't only affect me, but my own offspring. So I'm upset about it, and I'm very disappointed, but I don't know what else to say about it.
All right, Ms. Smith, your daughter says you misled her. How do you respond to that?
I never intentionally lied to her a day in her life. So where she's coming up with this, I don't know.
Ms. Sims, you grew up a daddy's girl.
Right, definitely a daddy's girl.
With a wonderful relationship with the man you were told was your biological father.
Absolutely.
Can you talk to the court about that?
Yes, my dad I met my dad when I was 4 years old. So, I mean, a little later than most people, but after I was introduced to him, I spent a lot of time with him. He made me who I am today. He made me strong. He made me very, very responsible. He was the person that definitely encouraged me to be a better person always. So yes, I'm definitely a daddy's girl.
And Mr. Johnson, you have great memories with your daughter.
Yes, I do. I remember taking her out to eat. We sit there and talk for hours and help them with her schoolwork, personal problems. I just tried to be the best dad I could.
Mr. Johnson, how has your relationship changed since this paternity issue has come to light?
I've always known there were some doubts, but I never mentioned it to her because I didn't see any reason for it. Maybe she has less trust in me now, but it doesn't affect the way I feel about her.
You say you feel like she may have less trust in you.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
I mean, in a small aspect, yes. I mean, my mom and my dad, because together they raised me. So together they knew that there was an opportunity that someone else could be my biological father, and it was never a topic of conversation.
So specifically, what happened that made you realize that there could be another possibility?
So in 2001, I was diagnosed with lupus. And you know how when you go through your physical, like they say, give me your family history and things of that nature, where I have no autoimmune disorders on either side of my mother or father's family. And so I just rolled that out. Throughout that, I went to nursing school and I became a nurse. And with more research and really understanding the disease process, I realized that it could be hereditary, and there could be some background to the things that are wrong. And then a couple of years ago, my daughter here, she began to start having some physical health ailments. And I'm like, this is very in line with my my time frame of age and everything, and we just don't have that. So at that point, it's like, I need to find out the truth.
So what do you say to your mother when you get this information and you say, I don't see these medical issues on either side of my family tree? What do you say to your mom?
Well, I actually talked to my dad first because, you don't ever want to, insult anyone or anything like that. And I actually talked to my dad about it. And my dad kind of was like, well, yeah, I kind of agree that there may be, a chance that you're not mine. And I will support you to look for, to look for your person.
How long ago was this?
Like, I want to say a year, a little bit more than a year.
Okay.
And so that shocked me. And I was just like, that's a big pill to swallow when your dad actually does know that he could potentially not be your dad and has never mentioned it, right?
So, Miss Smith, do you remember when your daughter came to you and spoke to you about the possibility she may have another father, and is there something you hadn't told her?
She was FaceTiming me on the phone, and when she mentioned it, she was laughing and giggling, so I thought she was joking. I didn't read anything into it and didn't say anything about it, so.
So do you remember that conversation, Miss Sims? What did you say to your mother, and why did she say you were laughing?
My husband and I were sitting on the sofa, and I'm video chatting because we live in separate states. And I was like, Mom, you know, is my dad my dad? And she was like, like, kind of gave me like the, I don't know, or the, you know.
Blow off, kind of blew
like,
it off.
Yeah, and that kind of was like, oh my gosh, because this is the person that should be 100% sure.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, Miss Smith, Mr. Johnson, did you finally just admit that there's another possibility?
Yes, there is a possibility.
And so, what's your relationship? How did you two meet?
We both had the same job. We were cab drivers. When you're idle, you sit on a cab stand until you get a call. And we happened to be on the same cab stand at the same time. And we ended up talking across each other. We ended up getting acquainted and ended up being friends. And then after we got to be friends, you know, she'd come visit. We play music and talk and dump our problems on each other and stuff like that. It just went farther.
Kind of got serious.
Yeah.
You all became, did you become a couple? Did you?
No, we did not become a couple. She was already in a relationship.
Oh, so that's why you say you get together, play the music, and dump your problems on one another.
Yeah.
I understand now. But at some point it became sexual, or you would not believe you were a possibility.
That's right.
So how long did the sexual relationship last?
One day.
Oh, just one day?
Yes, one day.
So why did you look at him like that, Miss Smith?
Apparently my mind ain't working right for me.
Why? You say it's more than one day?
Definitely.
So, Mr. Johnson, what do you remember? You say you only had sex with Miss Smith one time?
We were seeing each other for about 2 months as friends. One day we took a shower together and we ended up in the bed having sex.
Did you know she was in another relationship at the time?
Yes, I did. That's why it took me so long.
Oh, that's why you didn't try to have sex with her sooner, but then this day after the shower, all bets were off.
Yes, yes ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, if you could have seen your daughter's face when you said you all took a shower together, no kid wants to hear that, right?
Right.
So, Miss Smith, how soon after the sexual encounter with Mr. Johnson did you find out you were pregnant?
2 to 3 months.
So about 2 to 3 months after that, what did you do with that information? Who did you tell?
I told him I was pregnant, and I told my ex I was pregnant.
Okay, so at that point, as a young woman, you realized you were in a question of paternity situation. You told both men, I'm pregnant, you may be the father.
I didn't say all that. I just said that I was pregnant. Everybody
So
knew
did
I
they
was
ask
pregnant.
you, were they the father?
No.
Oh.
Henry and I, soon as I found out I was pregnant, we cut it off.
Oh, okay. I need to ask you, Miss Sims, did you ever hear about this other person?
So never directly about the other person, but there were lots of things in my life that were consistent with another person.
Can you explain some of those things?
Absolutely. One, my last name was, and my dad's last name is Johnson.
Right.
Secondly, my birth certificate has someone else's name on it besides my dad.
It does?
It does.
Your birth certificate reads your name, your mother's name, and then for the father's name, there is another man's name. It's not Henry Johnson.
Not Henry Johnson.
So you had a name.
Yes, I had a name. And I mean, the way it's explained to us, or to me, is that that was just an ex, you know, and consistently, me and my siblings all had the same last name. So, you know, growing up, it wasn't as big a deal because we still all had the same name. And my mom just said, well, I gave you my name, my last name. So that was definitely a huge, huge factor.
So, Miss Smith, obviously you thought it was your ex's child, and you gave your daughter his last name, right?
In the beginning, yes, I did.
And then when did you realize it could be Mr. Johnson's, that he could be your daughter's biological father?
When she got to be about 2 months old, the pictures and everything about her mannerism were like Henry's. And so, in my mind, Henry was her father.
I didn't meet my dad until I was 4. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
Well, we were estranged. We met up every once in a while in high and by passing, because he was in relationships, I was in relationships, so it wasn't like there was a great big conversation piece going on at that point.
So, Miss Smith, at what point did you decide to tell Mr. Johnson he is her father, or that he was the other possibility?
She was getting older, and I figured it was time for him to get to spend time with her and meet her. And I just said she needs her father in her life.
And so, Ms. Sims, you just said out loud, but I didn't meet my father till I was 4. Mr. Johnson, take me to the day you met her.
Her mom had contacted me and told me that I had a daughter, that Quiata was my daughter. I went to meet her, and we walked in the house, and she asked me, "Are you my daddy?" And I said no, because I did not know what her mom had told her.
Okay.
And so, but when she went in the room crying, I went in after her and said, I actually said, "I didn't know what your mom was going to tell you, but I'm your daddy." And she's been my daughter ever since.
Yes, it has.
So, Mr. Johnson, you submitted a calendar to the court to explain how this question of paternity got to be so confusing. You remember being intimate with Ms. Smith in November or December?
Late November or early December is when we were intimate. And it's a possibility there that I was the father, and I had to step up.
Understood. When were you born?
August 7th, 1978.
Okay, so you were born in August, but you said it was the end of November, early December. That puts us right about 8.5 months, right around there. The bottom line is, when you count back, it does put your encounter with Mr. Johnson within a questionable window as it relates to paternity. So, Ms. Sims, tell the court how much this resolution means to you.
It means a lot to me. Like, once again, I said, I'm a nurse and a mom. And just with my knowledge of the medical history and background, it's important for me to identify, if my dad's not my dad, if there's someone else, and I can kind of trace their history to see if there's other genetic diseases that I need to be worried about. Also, my daughter may one day want to have a family too, and is it something that she should be worried about? Also, I've already lost one child. I do not want to lose another one to something that I can, avoid by just a little bit of information and doing things before it happens versus hindsight.
All right. Well, the only way we can begin to see how to move forward is to get these results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Sims versus Smith Johnson, when it comes to 40-year-old Quiata Sims, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Johnson, you are the father. That's your baby girl. That feels good.
Yes.
How do you feel, Miss Sims?
I feel really good because I didn't want him not to be, but I just knew that there was a possibility. And I guess things that happen medically, this must have just started with me. So It's okay.
So this is such a wonderful story. I'm so happy. I see the tears, Mr. Johnson. What do you feel?
Happy.
Feels good, Miss Smith?
Yes, it does.
It should. And I'm thankful we were able to identify Mr. Johnson as your biological father, because now we can do the work to figure out what else maybe happened medically within the family tree on that side, so we can get that other part of the information for you and for your daughter. And I wish you a lifetime of happiness together, healing, and I'm just so happy this court was here to serve a beautiful family like yours.
Thank you so much.
I wish you all the very best. We have counseling and resources for you. Please take advantage of it. Court is adjourned.